Hello and welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin.
And I'm Nano. He's our moderator.
There we go. You still need a nickname. Unless, are we just going with Nano? Something starts with in. That is.
I don't know. Let me think about it.
Okay.
I'll think about it.
Nifty Nano is
Nano.
the nerdiest nickname we could give you, which is what I'm going to call you until you come up with something better.
Okay.
This is Nifty Nano, everybody.
Nifty Nano.
And tonight we are talking about major scales. I just got into Duck Dynasty recently, and the first. Have you seen that, Nano?
I have. It's awesome.
Oh, you like it?
Oh, I love it.
All right. Maybe I've got this thing where, like, if I watch the seasons, like, all in a row, like one episode after another, like I start not liking it. And so I went through like the first two seasons in like a couple days. You can turn your camera on right now too.
Okay.
I feel weird talking to myself. All right. So anyway, I watched like the first two seasons in, I want to say like a week or something like that. And now I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, definitely. I know how that is with if you watch a TV show and you're just like boom, boom, boom. You're kind of done for it for a little bit. I just watch here and here episodes, but.
So do you watch it like actual TV?
Yeah, usually just on the or I'll set a season pass for it on my DVR and it just records all of them. So whenever I have downtime, I just kind of sit there. And if I feel like watching some Duck Dynasty,
I don't think I've
country.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched an episode of TV like at the time that it shows up on TV in years.
I don't think. Yeah, I rarely do that. I do that for the show Walking Dead because that is probably my favorite show on TV, but that's about it usually.
That's what Adam told me too.
Oh.
I got to get into that.
Oh, you got to get into that.
It's not funny though, man. If I'm watching TV, I want to be entertained. I want it to be funny.
I got you.
Anyway, all that to say, tonight's lesson is called Happy, 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 which if you're a Duck Dynasty fan, you understand. But we're talking about major scales, and it's happy because major scales sound happy, as opposed to like minor scales, which sound sad or scary or depressed or something like that. So we're going to talk about how to do that. You need your PDF. Hopefully that's open. If not, check this out. We have these things called scales or tonalities or keys that we play in. So we'll say like, we're going to play in the key of C. And that means that we're going to use all of these notes right here. These are the correct notes, all white notes, no black notes. And as long as we play all white notes, we can play almost any song here. We can play or something else. Nano, you got a song for me?
That sounds like that?
No, just any song.
A happy song. Talking about a happy song?
No, just any song.
Any song?
Any song.
You're the one by John Mayer that you played. Paper Trail or
Paper Doll.
Paper Doll. Yeah.
So it's something like. Right. So that's all white notes right there. However, Paper Doll was not written in the key of C. Even though that sounds right for that song, it was written in a different key with black notes in it. So, for example, we just did Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and we used all white notes. And those sounded like the right notes. And if I play all these ones right here, the white notes sound great, and the black notes sound terrible, for example. And I play this note, it sounds totally wrong.
That's nasty.
Right? Yes, exactly. So this is the wrong note, and these are all the right notes, especially this note right here. When I get back into that one, it really feels like I arrived at home, right? So of all the white notes, that's the best one, and this one is the worst one that we could possibly have, right? Unless I play for you this. Now, that note that was so nasty before sounds great, and this one that was so right before is now the nasty note. That's because of keys. There's an agreement that performers have with an audience ahead of time, right when you first start your song. So before you get into the main thick of the song, you have an agreement about what notes the performer is allowed to use and which notes the performer isn't allowed to use. So when I come on stage and I play something like that, I've told the audience, hey, I'm going to use these 7 notes right here, and I'm not going to use any of these notes right here. Or I come on the stage and I play right? And then I've told the audience, hey, I'm going to use all these notes right here. They're all going to be the right ones, and I'm not going to use this one right here. So the way that you find these keys is in your PDF here. There are 12 different keys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then at that point we start back over. We'd be back at C at that point. So we're going to take a look at the C major scale. You already know it's all white notes, so you can already play the C major scale, but you don't know why. So that's what we're going to get into right now. It's going to start on the key, the note that is the name of the key. So in the key of C, C is the one we're going to start on. It's called the root of it, and that's why we have root right here. And it's going to be the first note, the number 1 is going to be the root. Now, if we go 2 semitones away from there, you can see when we're counting half steps right here. From the 1, we're going to go 2 semitones away. A semitone is just the next possible note that you could play. So from here, we could go here, but even closer than that note right there is that one right there. So that's 1 semitone from there to there. Then another semitone from there to there. So these are called half steps or semitones. From there to there, from there to there. I just went up 2 semitones, and now I'm on number 2 in the scale. So we've got the root, and then 2 semitones, 2 half steps. If you take 2 half steps and put them together, it makes a whole step. So from here to here is called a whole step. That's why I gave you 2 options here. We can either from the 1 to the 2 go up 1 whole step from here to here, or we can go up 2 semitones, however is the easiest for you to think of it. Then from number 2 to get to number 3 is also going to be a whole step or 2 semitones. So from here we're going to go up 1, 2 half steps or 1 whole step to get to number 3. Now from 3 to 4, we're going from here to here, which every other time we went from a white note to a white note, it was 2 semitones. But you can see there's nothing in between here, right? So here to here, that's just 1 semitone. That's a half step. So from 3 to 4 is always going to be a half step. So we've got root, then a whole step, then a whole step, then a half step, and that lands us on number 4. To get from number 4 to number 5, we're going to go up 2 more semitones or a whole step from right here, not there, but there. That's number 5. Then between 5 and 6, we also have 2 half steps from here to there. That's 6. Then from 6 to 7, again, we've got 2 semitones from there to there. We're on number 7. And then once we're on number 7, we're pretty much done. We've got to add 1 more little half step here. And once we go up that last half step, if you've done everything correctly, you've gone root, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, you'll land back on that same note that you started on. These are both C's right here. So you've got these notes make up the key of C, the C tonality, the C major scale, all the same thing. And they all happen to be white notes. Now, if we start on any note other than C, we're going to end up with some black notes. For example, if we do the same thing starting on F. So we're going to go back to our root. F is the root in the key of F, or in the tonality of F, or on the F major scale. This is F. We're going to go up 2 semitones or a whole step. And then again, 2 semitones. And then a half step or 1 semitone from right there is going to be right there. So we're now on 4. We went root, whole step, half step. Then from there, we're going to go up 2 semitones to get from 4 to 5. From right here, that would be 1 half step or 1 semitone. And then this one right here would be the next one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far. From 5 to 6, again, is another whole step. From 6 to 7, a whole step. I'm not following along with you, sorry. From 6 to 7 is a whole step. And then from 7 to get back to 8, if we've done everything correctly, we go up 1 half step and we land back on our next F. And they're both Fs. This right here is the tonality or the scale or the key of F major. And you can hear that sounds a lot like, sounds kind of like the same pattern. If we take the same numbers that we play any song in the key of C, apply those numbers to the key of F, it'll still sound like that song. Let me show you what I mean. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is, actually let's do a different one. Let's go Joy to the World. A little Christmas song here. It's going to start on 1 and it's just going to walk straight down. And that's the reason I want to use this one. It just uses all the notes. Just straight through your scale from the top. So that sounds like Joy to the World. If we take that same exact number set, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we start in the key of F. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. This was the key of F, so we're going to go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's the exact same song because it's the exact same numbers, but as you can see, it's an entirely different set of notes. So that's what keys do. They take a song, which is really a pattern of like intervals, pattern of like we're going from here up 3 semitones. That's what your ear is hearing. We're going up 3 semitones, and we're going down 2 semitones, and we're going up 1 semitone, and then it just changes where you're going to place that on the keyboard. So different songs are going to be in different keys. We did the key of C right now, and then we also did the key of F. Now we've got a scale that could start on C, or on D flat, or on D, or a scale that starts on E flat or E. We already did F. We've got G flat or F sharp. We've got the key of G. All of these can be different keys. There's 12 of them, and that's it. That's all the major keys that there are. So the bad news is there's 12. The good news is there's only 12. You learn 12 of them, and you're done for forever. You've got all the major scales. Now, let's take a look here. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I was like,
is it the ice cream
that's
truck?
the ice cream man. I'm about to go get some ice cream.
Wonderful.
I thought that was in your living room, but man,
The ice cream man in my living room.
that was creepy.
All right, so major scales, tonalities. These are all of the 1 through 8 of every possible key. So everyone that I listed is right there. Now it's best for you if you're able to. Obviously, this is like hopefully a really scary chart here because there's whatever that is, 7 times 12. Not great at math. Something like 84 different notes here you'd have to memorize. But instead of doing that, if you just memorize the pattern, root, whole, whole, half, and then whole, 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 half. So 2 wholes and then a half, and then 3 wholes and then a half. If you can remember that pattern, then you can build any major scale just by starting out on that note and going whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. And then you've got the scale, and you didn't have to memorize any of those notes at all. Now, instead of memorizing these different keys, like memorizing that, you know, for example, the key of D is a D, and then an E, and then a F sharp, and then a G, and then an A, and then a B, and then a C sharp, and then a D, and having to memorize each one of those, what I want you to do is instead memorize these as, I call them geographies, or memorize them as patterns. So once you've got your scale down, you went root, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Once you just step back and take a look at what does this thing look like? What is this shape? We've got all of these here. The first thing you'll see is this. It's just a bunch of notes that you're playing in the grand scheme of all the notes that are there. And then as soon as possible, I want you to kind of make the rest of the notes that you're not playing fade away so that what you really see is this thing right here. This is how I think of the key of D. When I'm playing the piano, you just tell me we're in the key of D, and this is what I see. I've got D, and then the next note is a white note, and then the next one kind of goes up. I've got this little hump right here, and then it goes back down to like this valley until the very end, and right before I hit that last D, I've got this other little hump right here. Because I don't want to have to be thinking about during a tune while I'm already thinking about the melody and the chords and all that stuff, I'm trying to be thinking about, oh, well, C's in the key of D are sharp, and so I'm not supposed to play that note, I'm supposed to play that note instead. If I can just see a geography and play a picture instead of playing a list of correct notes, that's going to be a lot easier. So what I want you to memorize is instead of 12 different, the key of C has no flats or sharps, the key of D has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp, the key of G has 1 sharp, it's F sharp, the key of F has 1 flat, it's B flat. Instead of all that, I just want you to start memorizing these patterns and get used to playing inside of these patterns. So the way we're going to use this is every song that you're going to play in has a key. And so the key of C, like we said, the pattern is really easy to see. You just stay down at the bottom, don't hit any of these, you're safe. And then we can play along to pretty much any song using that pattern. So any song that's in the key of C. So here's a couple songs that are in the key of C, and I'm just going to play along with them using all white notes and no black notes, and you'll see how these notes kind of fit in during the entire song. So let's try this one. So I'm just playing white notes. White
And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be.
And so even though I wasn't playing anything like the melody at all, all the notes kind of fit in. It could be like some like little background melody, and I'm just using that pattern. Now, that's one of 12 keys. So 1/12 of the songs that you'll run into are going to be in the key of C. Let's check out the key of F because we already did that one. Here's one.
Hey Jude,
So this one,
make it bad.
let's see if I can, there we go. So this one's in the key of F. We already took a look at that one. It's all white notes except we had this one black note in there. So we're going to use this note instead of this note here. And other than that, we're just going to play inside that pattern. Our geography looks like all valley, one little mountain in the top, and then back to here. Here we go.
Don't be afraid. You were made to go out and get her. The minute you let her under your skin, then you begin to make it better. And anytime you feel the
So you can see I'm just using this geography right here of this mountain and then just noodling around all in the middle of it. Now, the thing with these geographies is they're going to repeat. So the key of F is not just these 7 notes, but it's these 7 plus, Nano, if you could zoom out there. This is the key of F right here, but then I've got all these other notes in here that I've got to use as well. It's just going to be that same pattern repeating, that same geography. Right here I've got Fs with a little mountain in the middle. So what you really need to do is, as you get used to these patterns, these geographies, then start playing outside of one octave, outside of just one little F to F, and instead start playing with multiple F to Fs. So these ones right here, and then these ones right here, and then these, all of that is the key of F. So right here, I'm going to start with this one, and then I'm going to start to branch out to more than one octave to show you what that's going to look like when you do it.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start to make it better. Hey Jude, don't be afraid. You were made to go out and get her. The minute you let her under your skin, then you begin to make it.
So you can see all that is the same exact thing, just that same geography, that thing in the middle, but you really have to pay attention to where 1 is and how close or far away you are from 1. So the entire time that I'm playing, I'm thinking, all right, I'm on 1, now I'm traveling away, here comes that mountain, that means that I'm in the middle, now I'm in the middle, I'm playing along in the middle, and then I'm coming back down to a 1, I just crossed over a 1, and now I'm at that next mountain. So paying attention to that geography and where 1 is going to be the most important thing. Let's try one more of these.
Would you like your PDF or your main? Or
No, just the main one. We're in F.
cool.
I'm wide awake.
All right, this one. So this one's in the key of F. So we're gonna have the same thing. We got Fs. You can play along here. We've got Fs. Just make sure that you've got that mountain in the middle. We don't hit any Bs.
I'm wide awake. Yeah, I was in the dark. I was falling hard with an open heart. I'm wide awake. How did I read the stars so well? I'm wide awake. And now it's clear to me that everything you see ain't always what it seems. I'm wide awake. Yeah, I was dreaming for so long. I wish I knew then what I know now. Wanna dive in, wanna bow down. Gravity hurts, you made it so sweet. Till I woke up on the concrete, falling from
Out.
the night.
Back to 1. Dancing around 1. And then going up to the mountain. All right, so that is all just playing inside of those geographies, and then obviously taking a look at, you know, more than one geography at a time. So not only do we have this thing right here, but this thing down here is going on at the same time, exact same pattern, but I'm just broadening my perspective. Instead of this geography right here, I'm seeing that geography across the entire thing. So I've got one mountain, one mountain, one mountain, one mountain, one. That's going to go for every single pattern that you have. Now is the time where if you've got questions about major scales, tonalities, all that stuff, to send those questions to Nano by typing your name and the question in the box below this. He now has control of the cameras, so I'm unable to stop him now.
It's all over now.
So
it's all over.
Send your questions to Nano if you got questions about this lesson, and I want to show you a cool little ending. If this on a lot of and then 3, not 2, but 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just walking straight through it. We've got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 there at the end. In fact, let's start, instead of starting on this one here, we're going to start on this one right here. So it's still 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but we're going to use this one right here. So we're in the key of C right now. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to throw in one more note to make it sound cool, and I think you'll recognize it at that point. The one that's in between 4 and 5. Here's 4, here's 5. We need to use this note. Even though it's outside of the key, we're just going to pass through it really quick. It's going to be what's called a passing tone. So we're going to have 1, 3, 4, the one between 4 and 5, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. And that works in any key. So once you're familiar with these keys, you can start doing that. We can do that in the key of F over here. If we go 1, and then here's our key. This is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But we want the note that's in between 4 and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to use this note as well right here, the one that's between 4 and 5. So 1, 3, 4, the in-between note, 5, 6, 7, 8. So before today, you might have thought that that was like a certain set of notes that you had to play like that, the F, and then the A, and then the B flat, and then the B, and then the C, D, E, F. But it's not those ones. It's whatever key you're in using the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can play that in any key. And it still sounds like the ending. That was the same ending in the key of G. So anyway, there's the Duke Ellington song ending for you. It's time for questions. Hit me.
All right. Cool.
I can't hear you.
Gosh,
Thanks.
every time.
Not every time.
Not every time, but most.
You like 2 out of 3 times, so you got it right.
I will
improvement.
master it.
It's
It will be
improvement.
mastered. All right, this one's from Brooke, and she wants to know, where can I find the rest of the geographies?
I can give them to you. Email me, admin, that's ADMIN, at LearnPianoLive.com. I can give them to you. But again, using this pattern is going to come up a lot, that you're going to need this root, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So I would highly recommend using that and memorizing that, because that's going to be the most useful thing. From there, you can take a look at the thing that you've created using the pattern, and then see what the geography looks like. But yeah, I can give you those. Not a problem.
Cool. And Diane wants to know, how many scales are there altogether?
How many scales are there altogether? Major scales, there's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And those are the 12 that are listed if you go to the PDF for me. That's these 12 right here. So there's no more than 12. However, like next week, we're going to be doing minor scales. And there's 3 different types of minor scales. And there's for each scale that there is, like this is major scales. There's a major scale off of this, a major scale off of this, a major scale off of this, a major scale off of this. There's 12 different locations where you can start. Then there's minor scales. There's 3 different types of minor scales. So that's another 12 times 3, and I'm doing a lot of math this lesson. I don't know, 36, something like that. So that's 36 more scales that you have to learn. However, wait, hang on. That sounded terribly depressing. There's different, once you have the major scales down, then from there it's pretty much alterations to the major scale. I'll show you one real quickly. If we take the major scale, the C major scale, and we just lower the 3, this one right here, bam, you've already got one of the minor scales. That's one of the minor scales is right there. So having the major scale memorized first is really going to help out a lot in all of your other scales. But there's different types of blues scales, there's different pentatonic scales, there's diminished whole tone scales, there's all kinds of scales that you're going to have to play, but they're all kind of based on the major scales. So start with the major scales, learn the ones with the fewest number of sharps and flats first. So on this PDF here, you can see like C is a great one to start with because there's no sharps or flats. The only problem with it is it's way too easy. So you probably need to move on to something else. D flat, as you can see, we've got D flat, and then number 2 is E flat, number 4 is G flat, number 5 is A flat, number 6 is B flat, and then we land back on D flat. Don't start with that one. Start with a key where you're going to have fewer sharps and flats. So that's the key of C, the key of G, the key of F, the key of D, the key of B flat. Those are going to be great ones to start with because they only have a couple of flats. So learn the major scales first, and then after that, the rest of them will fall into place a lot easier.
Cool. And our final question for tonight is from Jake, and he wants to know, why do major scales sound happy? Can you answer that?
I should be able to. Why do they sound happy? It has everything to do with this note right here, the 3 of the scale. When we put the half step between 3 and 4, it sounds happy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got that half step there. When we put the half step between the 2 and the 3, like there to there, then it sounds sad. That sounds sad with the half step between the 2 and the 3. When the half steps between the 3 and the 4, then it sounds happy. But honestly, I didn't answer the question. I just told you, just better described what a major scale and a minor scale are. I didn't tell you why. I don't know. But it has something to do with the 3 and the 4. Maybe, wait. No, I'm not even going to guess. No, I'll guess later after I've looked it up or ask someone else.
Study it. We'll study it.
We'll study it. All right, next.
No, that's it for tonight.
Cool. All right, well, if you've got more questions that we didn't get to tonight because you didn't think of them in time or there was some technical difficulty, then fill out our survey. You can ask any question there. I'll make sure you get your answer. But for myself and for Nano, we thank you for being here tonight. We'll talk to you later.